Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
Now, that was my reaction when I first saw the Gareth Southgate news. On the same day, Benjamin White has been announced as signing a new contract until 2028 with the option of 2029. And he should be someone that is in the England squad. Now, we all know that's a delicate situation. So let's go over Benjamin White, what he brings to Arsenal Football Club, what he's done for Arsenal Football Club, and this whole Gareth Southgate versus, quite frankly, Mikel Arteta, Edu, and obviously Benjamin White. So it's Southgate versus Arsenal. Now, the 14th of March 2024 should have been a quiet day for Arsenal fans. We've got no football to be played. Benjamin White signed a new deal, and it's just deserved for the now 26-year-old who joined us in 2021. Currently, he's played 27 times in the Premier League, 39 times in total, has 4 assists and 2 goals, and has played 122 times for our football club. He is central to Mikel Arteta's plans, and he also draws high praise from his teammates for various reasons, people, as you know. I also think it goes under the radar, but people actually forget, you know, while he came to Arsenal with a solid education, obviously at Brighton, at Leeds on loan, at Newport, and obviously at Peterborough, he's played the most times for Arsenal Football Club. He's grown up here. I don't know why he was written off against Brentford in his first game. And yes, he was playing as a centre-half, but he's grown up here. And I also think he's misunderstood because he doesn't say the conventional things or fit the conventional fit of a professional footballer. He doesn't watch football, and I think even that's misunderstood in a sense. He strikes me as someone that's very coachable, very intelligent, has a willingness to learn, and someone that wants to die to win and die for the betterment of his teammates, really. And that's why I think Mikel Arteta signed him, and obviously since then he's gone from strength to strength. Naturally, us Arsenal fans are going to be absolutely fuming, confused, and bewildered by Southgate's comment.
You know what I smell? I smell butt ass.
Now, it's clearly been known for a while that Benjamin White and those within the England camp don't see eye to eye for whatever reason. I think we can all rest assured that it is something more than a footballing decision. As Southgate alluded to, there's not a logical reason with the injuries and the form of other individuals why Benjamin White has been left out of the England side. Personally, as a selfish Arsenal fan, while I want my players, whatever country they're from, to represent their nation, there's no higher honour for a man that plays week in, week out for our football club and is a key player to Mikel Arteta's system, whether he's asked to play as a conventional fullback or invert and whatever have you, to know that his legs will be rested. And it's well known that Benjamin White is known to kind of mask and hide injuries in the build up to games so that he can play. So I don't think anyone can question his mentality, but to know he could be rested, that's great. But for what it's worth, the Athletic have added their own spin, you know, respectfully to all the other newspapers and whatnot. I personally think the Athletic are a bit more creditable. I mean, look at their roster of journalists. But apparently Ben White found it difficult being out of the England side at the 2022 World Cup. Not even necessarily the second choice for his position, and struggled to settle in that kind of environment a long way from home, which is, you know, human-wise, while you're a footballer and you need to be prepared. I personally think there's a lot more to it because he's played for Brighton, he's gone on loan to Peterborough and Newport, and he's obviously joined Arsenal Football Club. So as a footballer, I think he's well versed on adapting to new environments, and obviously where he grew up around Brighton is not that far from London, but he seems quite settled in the capital with his wife/girlfriend, probably a family, and obviously within Mikel Arteta's system. So I don't necessarily buy this, but I guess there's some truth to it. Apparently, there was a row with Steve Holland, England's assistant manager, when White was on the receiving end of a verbal dressing down. Now, Arsenal and Mikel Arteta, you've seen in the All or Nothings, they tell these players about themselves. So I do think Benjamin White has thick skin. I just don't think he sees eye to eye. When White was on the receiving end of a verbal dressing down, White was already finding it difficult to conform to the life as a good traveller. That, in short, is exactly why Holland turned his anger on him. England's coaching staff like to pass on detailed notes to the players about their data from training and matches, as well as tactical information about the opposition. You'd imagine Mikel Arteta does the same. At one meeting, Holland did not appear to think White was taking it seriously enough, and there was an angry exchange in front of other players that created a lot of discussion within the England camp. There was nearly a full week between that scene and the decision being taken on both sides that White should head home. White flew back from Qatar to resume resumed mid-season training with Arsenal and has remained out of the England setup ever since. Many people with knowledge of the situation believe it will remain that way now he has effectively ruled himself out of Euro 2024. And with it being the last international break before the Euros, and when you look at Gareth Southgate's squad, I do think he's already decided the core majority of his team, but there's a lot of wild cards. So maybe there's a couple of opportunities for certain individuals. Now, I guess there's three sides to every story: Benjamin White's side, England's side, and what is exactly the truth. And I don't think anyone's hands are not dirty, but I don't have Benjamin White down as an individual like this. I do think when you look at certain articles and things, he wants to represent the country. I don't think he sees eye to eye with Southgate and his coaching staff. And it remains to be seen how long Gareth Southgate will be in this position, but also what Gareth Southgate's position after the Euros is saying, because if he leaves, I do think there's an opening for White. And for someone at 26 years of age, where yes, Arsenal have Jorginho, Partey, El Nene, many experienced players. When you look at the leaders of the new school, the players that have a lot of longevity, Benjamin White is one of the more senior players. So he is going to grow with even more stature and prominence within the Arsenal side. Obviously, Declan Rice has come and essentially been captain fantastic. Martin Odegaard is our captain and is doing quite well. But when you look at any sides that's accomplished anything, whether it's been Liverpool, Arsenal, Manchester United, Manchester City, Barcelona, Real Madrid, of course, there's someone wearing the captain's band. But you look around the side, there's 11 captains in all positions. So it's a bit of a peculiar situation. Personally, I think Southgate and his England staff have done him a bit dirty. I do feel, I do think Arsenal got ahead of this and maybe announced Benjamin White's new deal on the same day purely by coincidence, people, but at the same day the England squad will be announced. And I think it's a bit of a delicate one. I didn't think Southgate needed to come out and say certain things, but he kind of alluded to the fact that he can't look stupid and not call up one of the best performing players in the England camp, especially in the defensive ranks, and his versatility when there's injuries and inconsistencies from everyone. And he's kind of put the gauntlet down of sorts to Arsenal, because he's basically said, I've communicated with Edu and Arsenal, and Benjamin White's made it clear he doesn't want to be called up. Maybe it's because he doesn't see eye to eye with Gareth Southgate. Maybe he's carrying a knock. Maybe he wants to focus on Arsenal. I'm pretty sure you see a certain team that's been winning the Premier League week in, week out, regardless of where their players are from, they're starting to drop out of international duty at this time of the season. And also, you'd imagine by the time this video comes out and when you lot are listening, there's a couple of others. Who knows? I would never tell a player not to represent their nation, but it'd be nice if Saka and Declan Rice caught a quote-unquote injury and pulled out. Honest, England, Southgate, Steve Holland, football fans that are not Arsenal fans, they can say whatever they want about Benjamin White. What we have is a player that has hunger, that is versatile, that has adaptability, that's gone from being a young man to a grown-ass adult at this Arsenal Football Club, and someone that is a go-to man, someone that reflects what Arsenal is all about. When you look at the minutes played, when you look at his passing statistics, when you look at the areas he takes on the field, when you look at his mentality, you can see why Mikel Arteta signed him. And he's gone from strength to strength, and he's improving year after year with all the other aspects of his game. He fits a Mikel Arteta system in the present day down to a T, and long may it continue, really and truly. As I said earlier, I think he's had a solid foundation at his previous clubs. He's come to footballing university under Mikel Arteta, and Mikel Arteta has enhanced what Benjamin White is good at and made him great, in my opinion. He has gone to a World Cup and the Euros before, so clearly internally at England they know what he's about. But who knows, really?